Hello, this is Kate from Daily Tarot Girl, and this is my unboxing video for the Fairy Tale Journey Tarot. Now, this is a tarot deck by Taroteca Studio, and the graphic artist is, and I feel so bad, I can't pronounce her name very well. Let's see. It's Katarzyna Wojcik. And this is a new tarot deck from Taroteca Studio. Now, I love the box. It's like a little, let's see if I can focus here. Oh, my camera's having problems focusing. Okay, it's like a little book. So it's super cute box. And Taroteca Studio makes some really great decks. Some of my favorite decks are made by Taroteca Studio. So Dark Mansion Tarot, the Slavic Legends Tarot. I have another one called the Elemental Wisdom Tarot. These are all Taroteca Studio decks. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of a walkthrough of this deck. I'll put the link to where you can purchase this deck if you're interested just below this video. So I'm just going to walk through this deck so you get kind of a feel for the cards, and I'm going to be kind of commenting on the cards as well. So this is what the backs look like. So really beautiful. And the edges are golden, and it's like a really nice, like kind of a dull gold. Like it's not super shiny. It's like a brushed gold. It's really nice. Card stock is good quality. It's shiny, so I don't know if you can, yeah, the shine is kind of coming through here. So it's a little shiny and kind of like textured too, like it's like a little bit of a, I don't know how to describe it exactly. It's got a little bit of a texture to it. It's got a decent thickness, so it feels like a nice quality cardstock. So let's begin. And I'm just gonna slowly go through this deck so you get a feel for the cards. Starting with the Fool. So this is kind of like a fairy tale themed deck. This is kind of a cool one. There's like a little house here. There's all kinds of things going on here. So this isn't my first time seeing this deck. I briefly had like a quick peek at it before doing this video, but I haven't looked at all the cards. I just kind of peeked at a few. Definitely more of a busy deck. Like there's a lot going on, so there's a lot to explore. Lots of really interesting imagery here. Very colorful. The thing I love about Taroteca Studio decks is it feels like a whole world is created with each tarot deck, and you're kind of like entering that world and exploring it. This world to me feels like a little surreal, almost like I just took some magic mushrooms and I'm having a little bit of a trip. It kind of has that sort of a vibe. There's definitely like a surreal magic mushroom fairy tale kind of vibe here with these cards. Now, one thing I want to say is that once I've gone through all the cards, I'm going to do a sample. I'm going to do like a little interview with the deck. So I'm going to ask the deck questions and pull cards. So we'll see how it reads and how it communicates. I really like this Hanged Man. This is a very unique depiction of the Hanged Man. And it's really cool. This is super creepy. This is a very creepy devil. I love it. So far, I feel like this deck feels like a combination of like stepping into this like weird mystical world. Also kind of like a mushroom trip. Some cards feel very nightmarish, but other cards feel like kind of innocent and fun. Definitely lots to explore though. All these little water creatures here. Lots of weird stuff to focus on and read. So I'm really curious how this deck is going to read because I haven't done a reading with it yet. So I'm curious how this one's going to read. That's a really interesting one. 3 of Wands. Super bright, super vivid colors. These cards are very alive, very, very active cards. Lots going on. That one's kind of interesting. Some weird creature. Okay. So I'm curious to know if you enjoy decks that have kind of like a fantastical element to them, like decks that are kind of otherworldly. Or do you prefer decks that are more down to earth and realistic? Because I read with decks that are very, I read with some decks that are very kind of straightforward, like say the Rider-Waite deck. There's not really many fantastical elements. And then I love decks that are kind of like this one, that are kind of mystical and wild. So I'm curious to know what you find most effective when it comes to tarot deck. Okay. Ooh, this one's wild. I like all the faces and trees and things like that. Okay, Ace of Swords. So we're getting into the suit of swords here. That's a very powerful Three of Swords. I like it. Oh, this is interesting. So we have Five of Swords. Third person is up there. All right. I think what's interesting about these cards, something that I'm noticing, is the cards don't feel like they have like one focal point. You know how sometimes a card, like there'll be like one thing that you just like immediately notice, like one focal point. And I feel like I'm sort of noticing all the different details at the same time, which could make for a really interesting reading. We'll see. We'll see at the end when when I do the deck interview. Oh, that's cool. Queen of Swords. I like this one. Ooh, okay, so we're getting into Pentacles. I like all the green. Okay, last few cards here. All right, so let's give these cards a little bit of a shuffle, and we'll ask the cards some questions. So usually when I get a new deck, I like to interview it. I like to first look through the cards and get like a sense of the overall kind of energy and vibe of the cards, just to get kind of a general feel. Ooh, this deck shuffles really nicely. The cards aren't like super stiff. They have a good thickness to them, but they're not like super stiff, so they're actually kind of nice to shuffle. Feels really nice to shuffle. Okay, so I'm going to start this deck interview off by asking this deck the Fairy Tale Journey Tarot, by just asking the deck, what kind of a deck are you? What is one card that will sum up your personality for us? Six of Cups. Okay. So Six of Cups. So Six of Cups is friendly. This is a friendly card. So it feels from this card, this is a overwhelmingly friendly deck. I'm also noticing that this woman is kind of, it looks like she's looking in a mirror and she's maybe seeing her younger self. So that's kind of interesting. There's something interesting about that. And then there's something going on here. So see what I mean by there's like lots of little things to explore in the cards, lots of different aspects. But overall, I feel like this is a friendly deck. This card feels very friendly. It feels helpful. It's like this spirit of like helpfulness. So let's ask another question. So let's ask the cards, how can you help? I guess I'll ask more of a personal question. How can you help me? What kinds of areas of life or things do you want to help me with? Because there's some decks that, like to do romance readings. Some decks are more kind of spiritual in nature. Five of Wands. All right. Five of Wands is a card of conflict. So combining this with the Six of Cups, I feel like this is a deck that really wants to help me when it comes to conflict, whether that's conflict with other people in my life, conflict within myself. Anytime I'm feeling conflicted, this deck is telling me that it will be friendly, it will be helpful. Any sort of conflict, this deck loves to read on that. So this is the kind of deck maybe that I would go to when I have problems, when I'm feeling conflicted, when there's some sort of conflict going on. This is the deck that wants to help. You know how you have those friends that kind of get kind of low-key excited when you have a problem in your life? Like I have a couple friends like that where like I'll contact them and be like, hey, do you want to like hang out and go for a walk? And they're like, oh, I'm kind of busy. But if you phone them and you're like, I have this huge problem or I'm having a crisis, they're like all into it. Okay, so that's what this deck kind of feels like. So let's draw one more card. I want to ask this deck, ask the Fairy Tale Journey Tarot, what message do you have for us as a collective? So everyone watching here, if this deck could give us one message, it wants to show us one card, something we need to see right now, what would it be? Oh, Page of Swords. Okay, I wasn't expecting this card. This is kind of a surprise. All right. So Page of Swords is the message it wants to send. All right, so let's have a look at this card. To me, the Page of Swords is an unstable, it's someone who's like struggling to get a feeling of stability. This particular card doesn't necessarily, well, it kind of does depict it. So in the background, it's like there's feathers falling. It just feels like there's a lot going on in the background. Oh, hi, Henry. And yet there's something being presented to us. So there's this glinting sword that's being offered to us. And to me, the swords represent the mental aspects. So swords can represent the mind, thoughts. And this particular sword to me looks like clarity, like mental clarity is being offered to us. But the Page of Swords overall, I associate him with feeling kind of unstable and trying to get sort of solid, firm footing in a world that keeps shifting. And so this does feel kind of relevant to kind of where we are in general right now as a society, or as a global events and things like that feel tumultuous and seem kind of chaotic to me. And the Page of Swords is like offering, it's like offering a lifeline. It's offering like this clarity of thought. It's like the world might be messy and chaotic and confusing and dark, but you can always have a sharp mind. You can get clarity within yourself, even if no one around you has clarity. That kind of feels like the message. Okay, so I'm just gonna look at all of these cards, see if anything else jumps out. Oh, Henry. Henry's checking out the candle. Henry. He's a little freaked out by the candle, I think. Okay, so no other messages are coming to me with these cards, but that was fun. I feel like this deck really reads well. It was easy to read with. It was fun. I feel like the cards are, fun to kind of interact with. So let me know in the comments what you think of this deck. And I'll show you the box again. It does not come with a guidebook, so there's no guidebook, but really cool box. So this is the Fairy Tale Journey Tarot by Taroteca Studio. Again, I'll put the link just below this video on where you can find out more about it and purchase this deck if you're interested. So thank you so much for watching. My name's Kate. I'm also known as the Daily Tarot Girl, and you can find more unboxing videos here on this channel and on my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I'll put the link below this video.